So right about then, you notice out the as the two of you are sipping tea, regarding your cups, and looking out on the plaza outside. Roll me a perception check, and I'll roll one for Elspeth.
That's a dirty 20.
You see a you see a suspiciously familiar looking snake person strolling across the plaza outside.
I burst out the door. Um,
Elspeth follows you
yeah.
pretty quickly. Uh, how are how are you getting down? Do you want to go like to the balcony and jump? Do you want to go down all of
I
the
keep forgetting we're
all
in
the
like a
flight
full apartment.
all of the flights of stairs?
I go to the balcony and then I dimension door.
Okay. What is the range on your dimension door? Because you're on the 18th floor.
I know it's bigger than Misty said.
It will go farther than the width of a bread box.
To any other spot within range. The range is 500 feet.
500 feet. You can make it there pretty quickly and easily.
Yes.
So you dimension door behind him, in front of him,
In front of him.
in front of him. So describe your dimension door.
I think it. I think with as with most of my spells that make me kind of go away, I think my runes light up for a second, and then I kind of disappear in like a blue, like the color of my runes and the color of my eyes. I think there's like almost just for a sec, like I almost there's like a pale, almost as if you're looking at somebody who's like invisible, but not like you can see them kind of opaquely, like
Mm-hmm.
in that Casper movie when he goes invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But there's almost like that bluish tint to it, and then all of a sudden, and then it just kind of disappears, and then I kind of reappear in a very similar way, where it's almost like there's somebody invisible but slightly visible in
Mm-hmm.
front of you. It kind of comes blue, and then it fills in pretty immediately, and I've got my bow drawn,
So
mostly to look intimidating.
Villicent pops back into reality right in front of Mitt the Chronomancer.
Mhm.
Mitt standing in the late afternoon sun, looking at you. Yes, daughter of
What,
time.
what exactly do you think you're doing?
This person got hungry, so going to the temple to eat. Free food is given to all at the temple of Sylaire.
And maybe you wouldn't mind if I come with you.
Yes, come, let us share a meal, eat together as equals. Come, come, where is your father? Where is the elder Markel?
Still in the
Elspeth
apartment.
comes walking up behind you, um, brushing a little bit of tree bark off powdered tree bark off of her shoulder, and she says, "Mitt, that will be quite far enough, please."
Perhaps we shall share a meal at the temple with Mitt. Maybe get some answers.
Yes,
Do you think that'd be safe?
perhaps a meal would befit us all. Tell us, Mitt, why to why is your favorite restaurant suddenly Solaire's temple? Ah, yes, yes. Solaire's temple has many energies which lay to be sampled. Yes, a great locality of space-time is here.
Because of the rifts, the different pockets that exist in Sylaire?
Yes, the entire region here is studded with rifts to other worlds, to other places, perhaps even other times, which I think you know something of by this point, do you not, daughter of time?
Of course, I know of other times. But my version of Sylaire just had little, pockets, little things that didn't really exist in time.
Yes, yes. And the fractures you have navigated.
Yes.
Yes. The very energy of them permeates you as they permeate all who cross them. Come, let us eat. And he begins slithering up the stairs at a surprising pace. Um, Elspeth is very Elspeth is very easily able to keep up with Mitt, but she makes sure to give you a little side eye like like
Yeah, I
what
was gonna say I give her a
like
look like, yeah,
you like are you okay with this?
yeah.
Okay. She she po- she point she points to she points to she pats her robe right here uh to to let you to gives you like a little indication like
She's armed.
yeah and follows mid up the stairs. You you ascend the many steps up the winding side of the mountain of the mountain of Sylaire up to the very peak where the temple sits. The temple, as you may recall, is a conical structure with a with the central open peak, uh, pagoda style with four arms with four supports in the cardinal directions and a huge glowing green well in the center of
And could you just, it, like, how much of this is different from my version of the temple?
it. It is precisely the same as your temple.
Okay.
It is as if the temple that you had that you grew up with had never changed.
Okay.
The inlays on the floor are the same. All the number of steps, which you count almost automatically as you go up them, is exactly the same. The even the cracks and the where the blades of grass that come out of the cracks, which are all familiar to you, are all the same. All the hallmarks of your home are here, uh,
Ah,
including your mother ascending the steps in front of you. Um,
yeah.
her the robe that she's wearing is slightly different from the one that you remember. It appears to be wider and a bit more of a generous cut, um, but and seems to cover her more, as if uh, as if her home climate were a bit colder.
Interesting.
And she ascends above you, and you make it to the temple proper. Inside you see Sephora with Green, um, there and together they're bent over a child whose leg is turned the wrong way.
Fun. Remind me, is Sephora the one that my mom killed when she was possessed, or is that the other
Yes.
one? And what Sephora was killed?
No. Your mother attempted to kill Sephora and was and she and all the other possessed inhabitants of Sylaire were were slain by Sephora's protection spell that she put up around the temple.
So the one who ended up being,
So
I don't know,
Sephora is the
stuck. The
one
one
who
who I saw through the ring
yes,
is Sephora.
Sephora.
Cool.
Yes. So technically Sephora killed your mother while she
Fun.
was possessed and all the other inhabitants of Sylaire that you could see. But that was a different reality as well.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. And it
Sephora
was
that you
under.
see right here is healing people with your
Yes.
right next to your friend Green.
And Sephora was possessed. Because remember, there was one
Sephora was
human.
not possessed. She was the only one who was not, because she was in the temple when the invasion came.
This was so long ago that we did
Yes.
all this. It was
Yeah,
like a
she
year
was
ago.
yeah, because she was the high priestess of the temple.
So was it an accident killing everybody?
She put up the defenses of the temple,
Uh,
and in doing
oh,
so,
so she killed everybody that was possessed.
right.
Got
But you go past the that initial offertory area to a rear part of the temple, which is where the kitchens and the feasting hall is, in the back, in kind of the back corner. Um, it is a it has been dug out of the mountainside to create a to create to create a large amphitheater, actually, uh, that is actually hidden under the top of the hillside. So the top of the back of the hillside forms kind of like a shallow roof that underneath is a huge amphitheater, which has these air and light openings across the upper tier. And the amphitheater has as its epicenter a glowing well that the well that's all the way up at the top uh, feeds down into. So it's kind of like so it's kind of almost like a Mario pipe coming out of a Mario
it.
from the side. Uh,
I
but
imagine these energies feel very different. My magical energy is very druidic, very life forcey.
yes, yes. The from your knowledge of the place is that is that green glowing well there is a portal to the plane of growth.
Okay.
The also known as the also known as the positive the positive material plane.
Cool. I don't know why I'm making notes when we have recordings.
It's good. It's good to have your notes because you don't always have the recording in front of
Yep. This is very similar to, I mean, almost identical to my version of this. I tell Elspeth.
you.
It's funny how
Mitt
what's
hears you.
different and what's the same.
Mitt hears you over his shoulder says back to you, "Yes, and the differences. What are the differences?"
That's what the Seamus and I were talking about. The differences between the two types being
Yes.
significant.
He 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 pushes a chair aside at a table, and just coils his tail up and kind of seems to recline in on it. And Elspeth takes takes one of the chairs at the table.
I want to be clear that I don't know if I agree with you, which I'd imagine has been pretty clear. But I do think there's much we have to learn from one another.
Perhaps, daughter of time, there's much you have to learn from me, but I already know all I need to know of you. Many times have I met you, daughter of time. Never this
What
young.
what do you know about me that might surprise
I know of what you are capable, daughter of time.
me? Much. Billy's not laughing.
Elspeth is Elspeth is looking at him like through her eyebrows a little bit, like, what is the what's the end game of this? What is he intending here? And A server comes by and brings a variety of different dishes, um, mostly vegan because many of the elves around here are vegan, but brings a a small cage with two canaries and another small cage with two large rats. Elspeth begins eating a couple of the nuts, and Mitt picks up one of the rats and
Okay. You also been tracking a certain, let's just say, the youngest Markel. Is that true?
Somme, yes, Somme, the perfection of the original test. Yes, the
I kind of
beta
look at Elspeth a little
the
bit.
beta version. Yes. Elspeth looks a little surprised for a second, looks back and forth between the two of you, and then you can see her, you know, get her calm back. Yes, he looks at Elspeth and says, "Yes, yes, Mother of Earth. I know, I know the experiments that you and and the the Magister have been up to, the perversions of reality that you create." Elspeth says, "They are not perversions. They are furtherings of reality." And then she like pulls herself back in, like you can tell she's really pissed. Mitt appears to be enjoying her distress as well.
Honestly, I think Philly's eyes are on Elspeth as well because, over the course of this past year, Philly has, from realizing that she is uh, artificial creation, has wondered if it was even ethical to create something like her. So my eyes are on Elspeth.
Tell us, Mother of Earth, why did you why why do you pervert the natural laws to create in ways that were not meant to be? And she says, "Our reasoning is not for the likes of you to understand. Seamus is a great man, and he has such a knowledge, such ambitions of the world. He has seen things that will happen, things that can happen. Great cataclysms are avoided from his actions. The likes of you could not understand." Mitt laughs.
Really, the likes of him couldn't understand? Mid studies chronomancy. I'm not trying to question Elspeth. I just
Mitt laughs and says, "I have seen 1,000 versions of this world collapse under the mistakes of thy Seamus Markale. That is why I observe him so closely in this one, because in this one he has not doomed you all to destruction yet."
and you know of the world owns.
Yes. Cycles,
That
daughter of time. The cycles that you discover. The cycles that drive you.
did he do that? Did the Seamus help do that? Because the last thing he said to me was that you could only pay for my safety and you can only do that if you know what's going to happen?
Thy Seamus is but a tool of greater things, an unwitting tool.
I never thought he would intentionally do it, but how much say did he have in it? How much power did he have in it? Did he?
Oh, I just lost you. There she went. She'll be back shortly.